Okay, good evening, WorldCoin Talk community. Tonight we have an AMA with Memenopoly. Here is Mr. D, he's the head dev, and Douglas Jefferson, head of the marketing. So yeah, if we could start with a bit of your background and how you got into crypto.
Sure. So my background, so kind of all over the place. I went to art school for college, and then ended up getting into web production, and then transitioned into back end web development. So I've been a software engineer for quite a long time. Worked on some very large scale projects, but this is my first venture into an actual smart contract token type of project. But I've been around the block when it comes to development and products and startups and companies. So that's kind of my tech background. I got into crypto back in 2014. I got on right after the Doge little craze. My first big buy was Kitty Coin, which didn't work out as well as I thought it would. But yeah, I've been in since then. Rode the ups and the downs. Um, Invested a little too much in 2015. Kind of hurt myself. So took a little break from crypto for a couple years. Focused on my career, and then started getting back into it pretty heavy. I'd say probably 2017, right before things got really crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. So you launched on 6th of September. So can you give us a bit of the history of the token, how it's been going since the launch?
Sure. So actually, our first launch was in August. We launched our pre-sale, which we did kind of a unique thing. One of the core aspects of our product is randomized NFT kind of card packs or loot boxes. So for our distribution, what we did was we had 6 different sets of packs you could buy, which would give you, a set fee for the token, but you would also get 3 to 5 randomized NFTs, different classes. So we ran with that for about 2 weeks. Sold about 100 B&B worth of packs, and then listed on Pancake Swap. And after that, it kind of blew up. We went from 40 cents up to $7, and just kind of got a little crazy for a while there. But yeah, we've been running since August. We released a second version, which we did to combat against bots and some people that were trying to game the system. So based on community feedback, we kind of went back to the drawing board, implemented some rules. So you have to hold tokens to roll, and there's a roll burn fee, stuff like that, and relaunched a second version. Then we also launched a low stakes version of our game. So we actually have 2 games running right now that you can play.
Awesome. Yeah, so I can see you sold 10,000 NFTs, and that's great. And what did that go towards? The profit from that, was that towards marketing and stuff?
Yeah, so all the profit that we're making so far from the B&B packs have gone back into marketing, but also we use Chainlink to keep our system fair and transparent, and that has a cost associated with it as well. So for a while, like a bulk of our budget was going right back to Chainlink. We get refunded every month, but we had to kind of rethink how we did our roll strategy, and kind of worked out all that. So our marketing budget is back up to where it should be. But yeah, every penny that comes in goes into the team or the marketing budget. I don't take anything myself yet. I'm just I'm running this like it's a startup.
Awesome. And then you've created a farms and staking as well inside the game. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the way everything kind of interacts with each other is the game is the central piece. You have to play the game in order to farm. The farm is where the NFT farms is where the big yields come in. So that's where you make your big stack of tokens. But the idea is you open card packs and you get different cards. Some of them are properties you stake on the board itself. So if somebody lands on it, they pay rent. You get a share of that rent. Also, it's a free space. If you land on it, you don't have to pay rent. But then you stake those cards in our NFT farm. And like traditional Monopoly, right? If you collect a whole set, so if you get all 3 red cards, you activate a bonus multiplier. So you might get 10 MNOP a day for each card, and then once you have the full set, each card's times 3. So you would be getting 30 MNOP a day per card just for staking it in the farm. But the catch is, if you walk away for a week, your farms cap at 1 day, and you can't interact with the farms until you roll again. So everything kind of feeds each other.
Yeah, so if we could just maybe go through the tokenomics and then go into the game after that, that'd be great. Yeah.
Sure. So we're a different breed. Like, our token is a piece of the puzzle. So our tokenomics are pretty straightforward as far as the actual token. We don't have sales taxes, or you don't have to set your slippage to 78% to buy or sell. It's just a pretty straightforward BEP token with a little bit of governance functionality and a little bit of like, we could blacklist from
Oh, I think you might have cut out there.
token. So where the real tokenomics come in. Oh, sorry, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Sorry, I
You
had an
lost your
alarm go off.
blacklist part where
Oh,
you're
yeah,
talking
so
about you can blacklist.
Yeah, we have a blacklist function in our token that lets us blacklist front runner bots, is what that's used for. But the real tokenomics in our system comes within the user engagement, which is kind of a unique thing in crypto. Everybody wants to do it in their token. When you sell or buy, it transfers, it creates a price floor. But what we've been able to accomplish is basically a 50% burn rate straight through interaction with the game and the store. So our tokenomics are, when you roll, you pay rent. In the main game, it's 10% gets put into the jackpot, 10% gets burned, 5% goes to the dev, and then 70% gets distributed through players to claim as in-game rewards. On our low stakes version, that when you pay rent, there's no rent share, so 70% gets burned. We also have spots on the board like tax spaces. When you land on that, 100% of that is burned. And then inside the store itself, most of the packs are available through MNOP, and when you purchase a pack in MNOP, 100% of that is burned as well. So we work everything in to kind of works together to burn tokens. And when you roll, you burn two tokens. When you activate a power up, you burn 20 tokens. So everything, our entire tokenomics are driven through user engagement, and it's been going really well as far as the supply has been. It's increasing. We got ideas on how to make it more of a deflammatory, but compared to regular yield farm tokens, we have some pretty good burn to circulation ratio.
Yeah. I had a look at the board and everything, and it's all linked with crypto and everything. It's really cool. Do you have anything we could share in the text chat actually for the board and stuff? Any or you could DM it to me if it doesn't post for you.
Yeah, because you want to find
the community.
You want to share
Yeah.
a little nugget.
Yeah. Yep, I got you.
Awesome. All right. Sorry, yeah, we can carry on while that's there. So you were audited by TechRate. That's great, yeah. And take it you passed with flying colours, yeah.
Yeah, we were audited by TechRate. We've had to do some pretty heavy changes since then. Like I said, we had a fight with bots, and we're just always adding new features. So security is huge for me, and what we've done is we're working with Surtech now. So we're getting onboarded onto Surtech, and we're doing the full suite. We'll be in Skynet. We're getting the big guns from Surtech too. So it's I'm really excited about that. That my geeky tech side. But on top of that, like, I think it adds a level of legitimacy to our project that I think we should have, because we are a solid, most people don't come out of the gate with anything but a white paper and a dream, right? We launched with a fully working product that all, with 6 contracts, all interacting with each other. So, I think that getting that legitimacy stamp will help take our token itself to a whole new level.
Yeah. The board looks great. So who created that?
So I started this all by myself back in April, and like I said, I had an art background, so I went to art school for 3D modeling and special effects. So all the original art. I mean, I didn't create every model. I did a lot of it. It was royalty free stuff that I kind of tweaked and put in. But but yeah, all the art for the initial version was all done through myself. Since then, we've got a team of these guys that are doing some crazy work as far as creating new NFTs and properties. But I'm still doing all the 3D stuff myself.
Yeah, you've got the frog on the board. That's awesome, and yeah, lots of sort of things that are well known in crypto for people to enjoy in the game, and that's great. Yeah.
I tried to start with the the recognizable stuff, but as we progress, the memes are getting better and better as far as the actual NFTs go, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, if we could just maybe go through how the game works. I think it's on a daily basis. And how that goes. Yeah.
So the way you would start is you need to get a few tokens. Right now we have the limit. You have to hold 20 tokens and you have to burn 2 of them to roll. We're probably going to adjust that based on price, but that's the idea. Is you hold a small amount of tokens just so you can play, and then you can roll every 3 or 4 hours depending on which board you're playing on. And then as long as you roll once a day, you'll never notice any of our limitations at all. So if you come back once a day and roll, you're fine. You can roll up to 4 or 5 times a day, but you only need to do it once. And then as soon as you roll your first time, it unlocks your NFT farm. So you can go in and stake all your properties. Once you have those staked, every time somebody lands on one of your properties and pays rent, you'll get a share of that, which is divided by how many people have it staked. So if you don't roll in 24 hours, what happens is that share that should go to you gets burned instead. And then your farms will lock up, so you can't yield your NFT farm earnings. You have to roll again to unlock it to get your earnings. And if you don't harvest within 24 hours, then you cap on the max that you can get per day. So it all feeds, like I was saying. So it's just the basic concept is you gotta roll once a day to really engage and play with the NFT farm, which is where the bulk of the yields come from.
Yeah, and it started as a high stakes game, but then you introduced maybe a low stakes for smaller investors. Is that how it went?
Yeah, so when we first launched, our price was pretty high. So, it was never meant to be a $7 token right out of the gate, but crypto, so that's how it goes. It just mooned. So what happened was everything got outpriced really fast. You pay, like, at the time we had a space for the highest tax, the rec tax. It was 100 tokens. So when we're at $5 or $6, that's quite a steep price to pay for one space. A lot of people saw the value because it's all relative, right? That means if you're paying that much, that means you're earning that much and you're winning that much, or your yield's worth that much. But people with smaller budgets had issue with that. So we came up with the idea of taking everything and releasing a new board that was 1/4 the cost. So it's really geared towards the smaller accounts, or if you want to test it out without getting too heavily invested. But it's not where the bulk of the players are and the bulk of the earnings are, but it scales accordingly. So if you're invested at X, you're just basically earning 4 times less than if you had to pay 4 times more. So it's just it's a totally different property set, different themes. It's just a fun way to test out the game, and it's a fun way for a lot more people to be involved. And one of the issues we were dealing with was gas fees, believe it or not, on BSC, which I've done my share on ETH, so gas fees on BSC still are kind of a joke to me. But we have a lot of new players that are just new to crypto. It's kind of, our community has really got a huge core of people that never really invested in much of anything. So a $4 gas fee blew their mind. So we tried to do what we could to accommodate them, which is, on a low stakes board, there's no rent share, which is where the bulk of the gas came in, because you have to figure out which 200 people hold this property, if they're active or not. Takes a little bit of glee. So that was it kind of came out of all user suggestions and whatnot. But it also opened the door for us to do more exciting things. Like, for example, we're releasing a Halloween board on October 15th, which is going the opposite way. So it's going to be a short-term board. Instead of it being 1x, it's going to be 1.5x everything. So all the rents are bigger, all the rewards are bigger, but all the taxes are bigger. And it also adds a new aspect to it, which I think is pretty cool. So we have the concept of the jackpot, right? So it's like the free parking space that you would find on a Monopoly board. And what happens is people pay rent, that jackpot adds up. It's like a progressive jackpot. If somebody lands on the moon jackpot, they win it. They just 100%, that's all theirs. If they land on the rug spot, which is equivalent to like the go to jail spot on a Monopoly board, it will actually burn everything that's accumulated in the jackpot, and then they get sent to jail. But it also, it's a way to control the flow of the tokenomics. But what we're introducing in this new board is our we have a B&B progressive fee now, so that'll also get added to the jackpot. So as you roll, not only will you gain MNOP tokens, but there's a chance to win basically the roll fees. So if somebody lands on the the jackpot now, they could win 1 or 2 B&B in addition to 300, 400 MNOP. And if they get rugged and they burn the jackpot, what happens is those funds go to the to the dev, kind of like the house collects the rake. So I think it'll be a cool concept. And this board is it's all animated. It's got a graveyard in the middle, so we really took it to the next level with this one.
Hey, Glenn, I sent you all that media. I don't have the rights to post on your group, so if you want to post that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've got that there. I'll just. Yeah. I've not seen the middle of the board because when I go on the website, I could only see the corner if I'm not playing. But yeah, I'll send that. Wait a minute. I'll send that across to here. But yeah, while we're on that, yeah, you've got very high liquidity as well on the tokenomics, nearly 50%. What was the reason for that?
That's which is kind of interesting because usually when you find projects with high liquidity, it's either dev put like 80% of their funds they minted for themselves and they're impaired it with their their pre-sale. We only have about 10% of liquidity. I mean, it's locked, but we're only 10%. So that's all. The bulk of our liquidity is all users. And what's unique about us is our LP farms are the lowest churner for tokens in the entire system. Like you don't drop a bunch of money in our LP and all of a sudden have 1,000 tokens overnight. It's like really slow going. But we have a reward system that rewards you in NFTs. So as you harvest your tokens, you also earn reward points. And as you earn a certain level of reward points, it unlocks a tier. And then you get a selection of like 1 or 2 or 3 NFTs that you can mint all the way up to the best one in the game, which is the Muskwalk, which is equivalent to our boardwalk, which you only get at tier 10. And we've been running since August and only 4 people have actually made it to tier 10. So it's a feat to get there. But we're at about half of our market cap in LP, which is kind of crazy to me when you think about there's not they're not making tokens that they can dump through the LP. They're making NFTs.
Awesome. Yeah. I see. Is it like a Batman figure there in the game? Yeah, on the video, or what they like?
We got there's a
characters you can pick. Yeah.
Yeah, we got we have 107 NFTs right now.
Awesome.
A bulk of those are players. So what players are is like any NFT in our game, you could stake it into the LP farms and it earns you daily rewards. But as if you have a player and you have it staked in the game, you can unlock that 3D model. So if you have the the Lambo NFT, you can unlock and play as the Lambo. So it adds a little bit of fun aspect to that. But it's also not just a little graphical like win. It's you also earn tokens from it. So some of our player sets are actually some of the better sets in the game too.
Sorry if you finished and I've been cut off Telegram twice. Sorry, as I'm posting the videos, but I'm just gonna. Is that like a Hulk one? That looks cool. Yeah, awesome. Right, so yeah, so with the game, you can win, you can lose in the game, and is there like a house edge to it? And what would you do with the profits from the game if there's a house edge?
Yeah, I mean it's to be determined if there's a house edge as far as this new roll kind of jackpot system goes. But right now, the game itself is more geared towards burning tokens than it is profiting us in B&B. So we want our pack sales to be what it really drives, like our budget. But But with this new system, it definitely can help pad that as well, because if the house wins and more people go get sent to jail than they land on the jackpot, then we get higher the roll fees we normally would get if we just had a roll tax. So there's some little gamification going on there, but it's also totally random. So there's no some versions we've run, there's more rugs than there are jackpots, and sometimes it's vice versa. It just really depends on where people are landing. So it's not like there's not a higher percent chance you land on this space or that space. It's just like Monopoly. You roll the dice. If you get the right number, that's where you land.
And so is it a bit like Reflections in a way? You could win or you could lose some of your tokens, and is there a minimum and maximum amount you could stake on?
It's more of an averages game. That's the thing. I clarify it more as or classify it more as like a gamified yield generation platform than I do like a gambling game. There is, it can be pretty rough when you go around the board the first few times. Like you'll end up paying more than you make almost always. But in almost every case I've seen, anybody that plays it long enough, you eventually get to a high enough level where you're in the profit. So the way that like in regular Monopoly you pass go, what we do is you get 10 tokens time your level if you pass go. So if you're on level 10, every time you pass go, you get 100 tokens. If you land on go, you get 4 times that. So if you land on go, you can get up to 400 tokens. So as you progress through the game, it becomes more of a yield generating. Some days you might go negative and you might pay a bunch of rent. Other days, but over time, it always averages out in the gamer's favor is kind of the idea. It's more of a yield than it is. We don't you're not going to go bust unless you give up and flip the board, 1.5 times through it. If you stick it out to level 10, you're going to be fine.
Oh, awesome. And is it when you get to go, it goes to level 2? Is that each time you get complete the board?
Each time you pass go, you go up a level. The catch is every time you get sent to jail, you lose a level. So,
okay.
there have been people that have gotten up to like level 6 and then have gotten screwed and all the way down to level 3. And I'm waiting for the time somebody goes from level 10 back to 0, because math says it'll happen. But there's we have a solution for that too. We have power-ups you could use in the game, and one of them is called rug defense. So if you have that power-up equipped, you basically you still burn the jackpot and you get sent to jail, but you keep your level.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you've got property NFTs and you've got the card NFTs that they sold out. Is there going to be like a second edition or move on to another blockchain as well in the future?
Well, what we're planning on doing as far as like our main classic board is we're going to rotate in properties. Like right now, the first thing we did is we had rocket spaces where the kind of the railroads, and we introduced new ones, which are sports cars. So every week we switch those out. 1 week it's rockets, 1 week it's sports cars. So people that came in late still have a chance to get some actual cards in packs and things like that to get into the game. So we plan on doing more of that as far as introducing and rotating. So every week there'll be different ones rotate in, but the idea is to make sure that they're fair. So every week, we don't have one that's OP in 3 weeks and then one that's out. So, but we're also, like I said, with this Halloween set, it's a whole new set of properties. So it's a brand new complete game that will be in packs, and they'll be, they will be the highest farming properties we have, but for a short time, only for a couple of weeks. So and they're going to be limited quantity too. So we have all kinds of different things that we can do to bring in new players to make them feel like they're part of it, because that was definitely something that we came up against pretty quick. I mean, when I released this, I mean, some of these had thousands of NFTs. I'm like, I mean, I was expecting 2022 maybe I'll have to start worrying about new properties, but I mean, it just got crazy. I mean, we were minted out of properties in like less than a month. It was pretty insane.
And so can you move from like houses on when you get free of into hotels type thing as well?
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to implement that. There were a couple points of the Monopoly regular board game that I kind of entertained, but never really got in. Like rolling doubles, for example, didn't really do that. We just use a random number between 2 and 12. There's no 6 and 6. So
yeah, I think what
another
you've
one
done
was
there.
like,
Sorry, yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Right. You covered because you're not using any of the Monopoly, so there's no copyright infringement. I know a woman years ago, she made Monopoly in London. I don't know whether she had to do a deal with Monopoly, but then they did Monopoly Paris, and so the whole board changed as well. But yeah, so the patent's not a problem because it's not using any of the Monopoly's stuff. Yeah.
I still need to talk to a lawyer just to cover my bases on that. That's actually one of the main reasons I haven't fully doxed is I'm afraid, I don't want Hasbro showing up at my door intimidating me. But I definitely tried to cover all our bases on there. I looked up the trademarks. The trademarks are all on the name and the font and things like that. So, the gameplay, nobody can say our game is Monopoly. It just isn't, right? You don't land on a property, buy it, and add houses, and there's no chance cards or, community chests or instant rewards. They're not like, there's a bunch of aspects that it borrows from it, but it's not meant to be, a blockchain, a straight blockchain version of the game, right? Which would be fun. I would play that, but I wanted to do something that was different and unique and more geared towards DeFi and yield farming than just get your 5 friends together and play all night type of game.
And so the farming and staking, is that like locked, or how does it work outside of the game with the farming and staking?
Yeah, so if you're not playing the game, you can still farm LP. LP is wide open. Anybody can add or remove it because that's critical to the system. So, and like I said, that's not a big token generator. So there's no harm of like overinflation if everybody ran to farm LP. But to farm the NFT farms, yeah, you have to engage with the game every day. Otherwise, they're going to lock up and you can't really do much with it. But our secondhand markets with NFTs are also pretty insane. We are, still to this day, the number 2 by volume project on Treasureland in all of existence. The only one higher than us is Pancake Swap Bunnies. So, and we actually got within 100K of them before they had their recent FOMO. So, yeah, they're like people were making a ton of money off of flipping our NFTs, which is, it's hard to reflect that in a chart, but a lot of the flow went from, people buying into the game, buying packs, selling their NFTs to make their BNB, and then burning their tokens to get more NFTs to go sell their NFTs to, make their BNB. So people made a lot of money without wrecking the chart for a long time. But then, then eventually people started dumping and our chart went down a little bit, and then it went down a little more. But as I say, we're a farming token, so the chart doesn't tell our whole story like at all. The NFT market has been massive.
So, what was the prices of the NFTs when they were launched? Was it a set price? How did it work for the packs? And
yeah, so the packs were varied in prices. Like if you wanted a really good one, the highest one when we launched, I think it was you had to spend 6 BNB and burn 300 MNOP. We've adjusted our prices over time to kind of counter like our chart, but there was some going for 25 BNB. I think was the most expensive one. I know that was sold.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple people sold. We had a Diamond Hands NFT that I gave out for free to anybody that beta tested us before we were live, because we were on testnet for about 2 or 3 months before we even launched. So anybody that partook in that got this Diamond Hands NFT, and those were selling between 15 and 19 BNB for weeks. So there was our NFT prices have come down to earth a little bit right now, but still some of the good ones are going to cost you 5 or 6 BNB easy. It's just been crazy.
yeah,
change people's lives like just off of digital JPEGs.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very unique for the BS scan. No one's thought of this before. So with the you don't need the packs though to play. I take it if I'm an investor, I just want to come and buy some of the token, I can start playing. What's the difference between owning a pack and just investing and playing the game?
Yeah, I mean, there's you don't have to own a single NFT to actually play the game. You have to own some tokens, but the benefit of owning the NFTs is that's where for one, that's where the real yield comes in as far as the NFT farms go. But for two, the more properties you own, the less you have to pay rent, right? So if you own the whole board, there's still some spaces that'll get you, but you have a pretty smooth sailing going around. You're just it's more of a earning. So if you don't own any property, it's a little more of a uphill battle, but you still could win the jackpots. You still could collect your paydays. I mean, I during testnet in the beginning, I mean, I played this with thousands of accounts, trying all different ways, right? And I've even taken accounts that had like almost nothing, that I didn't buy a single NFT, up to being pretty profitable by the time I got to level 10. So it's doable. You just have a much easier, your rewards are going to be much.
I think you cut out there. Yeah, Telegram's playing
yes,
up tonight.
I got a
I
got a phone call there.
No problem.
Cancel.
So did you say there's with the counter that you start with, a car or a frog, or there's 200 and something of them, so you could expand that in the future, the amount of available NFTs that unique.
For a while we were releasing like almost one or two NFTs like every day, it felt like. We slowed down a little bit to kind of get the board level, and we focus more on some contract updates, but we're ramping back up with the NFTs. So there's going to be new players that are added all the time. Our Halloween set is going to have specific ones that you're only going to be able to get for the 2 weeks that we're running the promotion. So there's no shortage of unique NFTs that we'll be releasing, whether it be players or properties. Like I mentioned, we also have a power up type of NFTs that you can use in the game, and they'll do things like reduce your roll timer, or give you a percentage off your tax or your utilities. So like typical Monopoly, you have the utility spaces. In our version, those utility spaces are the same deal. You pay the rent times your roll, but 100% of that goes to the jackpot. So it's not like an ownable space. But if you have like the utility, you could pay like 15% less on that if you have like one of the good ones, for example. So there's ways to kind of give yourself a unique advantage. Some people like to roll faster, so they add the roll timer power up and shave an hour off the roll time, things like that. There's lots of gaming, lots of different ways to gamify and customize. Even though it's a board game, it's still pretty unique, and you can still get you can change your character, you can configure your power-ups and which properties you want staked.
Yeah, I mean, it's continually, like you say, evolving, and you can expand. And like I say, in the future, maybe, you could go over to the Solana blockchain and other blockchains and do a second edition of NFTs. I've seen a lot of NFT projects doing that.
Yeah, cross-chain is 100% on a roadmap. It's been since day one. The blockchain that I'm considering has changed quite a bit since day one, but I think Solana is probably going to be our target. It's just a lot more overhead to get to Solana than it is to something like Polygon or something. That's more copy paste your contracts and you should be good. But I'm looking forward to that challenge, and I don't want to do it until we can do it right. That's the thing. I don't want to just bring up a second version on Solana, and I want to be able to make sure that we preserve the value of our assets on BSC and let you shift them over to Solana through a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see maybe some small rewards as you go around the board, where you win some tokens as you go around. Like that'd be cool as well.
We do. We have the community chess space. So there's 3 of those on the board. And if you land on one of those, you can't claim instant rewards until you're level 1. So the first time around the board, you have to grind through. But after that, every time you land on a community chest, you get 75 tokens instantly.
Awesome. Yeah. you know, there's me thinking, I'd like this on the, you know, you do get into it, don't you? You know, like, oh, I'd like. So do you get a lot of the community coming up with ideas? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, the community's been huge. We like, yeah, when we moved from the first version we had to where we are now, I mean, most of the ideas either started from the community or, you know, or something the community said sparked an idea in my brain to how we can pull something off. So they've been incredibly invaluable. Like, you know, they're a great litmus check, but they're also a bunch of big brains and they got some amazing ideas. I can't keep up with them all. Like, you know, half their ideas are awesome, but it's like, hold on, I got to rewrite like 4 contracts if we want to do that. But we've been able to pick up a lot from them, and you know, I can't make everyone happy. That's literally not possible. But you know, I want to do what our holders think is best, as long as it fits in with where I think we want to go.
Well, have you got a number of basic characters that everyone can use if they hold the token and play the game, and then you've got
so when you start,
where
you get 3 default players that you don't need to stake anything for. You get it's basically a 3D version of our little Pepe logo with the top hat and the little monocle floating around like a little balloon. Then we have a strong Doge player that you can use by default, and then there's a think emoji, which that's probably I never use. It's the worst one in the game, but everything else looks way better than that in it, or that model. But yeah, we give people three options to start with, and then as they stake, they can switch to new ones. Which, you know, as you get into the ones that you stake, they get a little fancier. They, you know, they're more animated, they're shiny, they're reflective, they're, you know, a lot cooler to look at.
Awesome. And do you keep account in the background of how many people have played the game and how many games have been played and stuff? You know, since
absolutely. So we didn't include the stats from our first version because it was so bot heavy. It was just lopsided and it wasn't real stats. But as of right now, we have 1,936 unique players that have rolled 24,867 times. So, and we've had 482 jackpots won.
And then you sold out 10,000 NFT card packs. Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and we've sold over 10,000 card packs, and each of those average 3 to 5 cards per pack. So, you know, do the math. There's a lot of our NFTs floating out there, which is also something we're taking into account. You know, our NFT inflation is something that we want to adjust. So in the near future, we're going to have a trade-in feature where you can burn your, you know, like your common NFTs. If you got like 5 or 6 of them, you don't need them. They're not worth anything secondhand. You can burn them to upgrade to something slightly better and, you know, kind of work your way up the chain. And then we're also working on a lotto feature, which you'll be able to burn NFTs to enter as well.
Yeah, it seems like the sky's the limit where you could just keep expanding, growing, changing things. The community loves it. Yeah, so what's the plans for, apart from AMAs, marketing for the future, and what you're doing there?
Mr. Dugas, you want to chime in on the market?
Yeah. So we're mainly trying to market to more play to earn investors. So we're putting up ads on these big play to earn websites, and we still believe that play to earn is going to be like the next evolution of crypto. So hopefully, you know, normal investors see the worth in it, the value in it, and end up transitioning over as well. So we're going to be working on some TikTok ads as well, getting some influencers from TikTok to bring in some people from, you know, United States. It's pretty prominent over in the U.S. as far as TikTok goes. We're going to be marketing on a lot of these big play to earn websites like playtoearn.net, playtoearn.com, dapp.com. We're trying to get in with MVB3, which is most valuable builder. That's actually through Binance. That's one of the biggest reasons we got the audit through CertiK as well, because we've already applied. So if we can get that and we can get Binance to actually start kind of putting our name out there, that'll bring a ton of exposure to us as well. So there's a lot of plans. We're going to be expanding our marketing team as well. So I plan on bringing on a couple more people to help get the word out for Memenopoly.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
We went through
So
a little lull for the end of last month because of these chain link fees. So it really depleted our marketing budget, but it kind of worked out. It could have let us regroup and focus on the tech. But now we've kind of got the gloves off, and we're making some big purchases. I mean, that's the thing about crypto marketing is, you could spend $1 million and get 2 real people. So we're trying to be very strategic with the targets we go for with our product, because it is a lot to take in just off the bat, right? You can't shill it to average Joe crypto investor that's just going to look at the chart. We need to find the people that will see the value.
yeah,
That's the
definitely,
thing. We're past the hype stage. I mean, we've been released for over 2 months now. So, most shit coins don't even last for, a month, and then they fall apart. So we're past the hype stage. So we kind of have to market this a little bit different to show that we're a legitimate project, that we're going to be here for long term. You're safe with your investment. This is not something that's just going to, be open for a month and then the dev runs off with the funds or anything. We've already did migrations and everything. It could have easily happened during that time, and he proved that. All of the investors' funds is safe with him. He didn't do anything shady. So we're just really showing that we're a legitimate project. We're going to be here for the long term, and I think that's important for crypto. I get people want to jump on board on these new projects, run up, try to get in early and then sell at all-time highs. But, this is something that could be a long-term investment that could, it's a passive income. It's literally like a money printer. And if you play your cards right, you can actually make money from just selling the NFTs and not even hurt the price at all. You can just buy packs, sell the NFTs on the secondary market, and then, or secondhand market. And then, you're burning tokens at the same time and you're making money at the same time. So everybody is winning, so, I think that's an important thing to see,
Legitimacy is a huge point for sure, because, like you just said, I mean, we're in this for the long term. Like I look at this as a startup, as a, like a blockchain gaming company that I want to, move in the future. Yeah, this is the first product is how I see it. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I'm not, gonna, I don't have shiny thing syndrome. I won't just dump it to the next new cool idea. But I want to build it organically, like a company should be built. But there's not enough. There's just not enough of that in crypto, unfortunately. And I take the blame for picking BSC, because that's like the hardest chain right now to get people to take you seriously. And and we got meme in the name, which is completely awesome and 110% fits with our brand and is amazing. But in the minds of most crypto investors, they think meme coin, and we're like the exact opposite of a meme coin, right? Most meme coins have zero utility and just a white paper. We have every kind of utility that a token could ever possibly have, and we're still working on our white paper. So it's a little different than a lot of these tokens.
Yeah, and the expansion is just always going to go on. You can be going for years with new ideas from the community and your own ideas
just keep evolving as a coder, and growing. Like who knows, maybe in a year we have P2P aspects. Like there's so much we could do just with this like brand and this type of board game on the blockchain. There's other board games we could venture into. There's the future is bright. It's just a hard sell right now, but we're working on that.
Definitely coming to Coin Talks, a great thing to do. Like you say, budget your marketing, in the right places. I know in the past, I think I was on a project. They spent $20,000 on Twitter and got 2 investors, like you said earlier on. So yeah, targeting the right areas and stuff, and investors will be interested in the gaming and the NFTs, and it just seems really awesome what you've come up
Our best marketing
moving
so
forward
far,
today.
100% hands down, has been the word of mouth from our community. You know, the things we
Mm,
can't pay for, like you just can't pay for that kind of, you know, like we would do campaigns and like get all the way to the top of like Reddit subreddits, and like still all it would take was like one person going into their whale chat and going, dude, you guys got to check this out. You know, that's where the real investors have been coming from.
and in the future, you're looking at a second edition on the cards and NFTs and property NFTs. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
everything will
great.
keep evolving. There's no I see no finite end to this. Like that's one of the reasons that we don't have a max supply in our token, because it just wouldn't work, right? If we started, didn't matter if we started with 4 quadrillion tokens, there's that still means there comes a point in time where we can't give you an instant reward. So, you know, it's a unique way of keeping the supply in check by burning it. So, you know, we're creeping up, but we're creeping up a heck of a lot slower than a lot of farming tokens ever would.
Yeah, yeah, it's just sort of knocking down them doors, isn't it? You've got great projects and great ideas. It's amazing what you created there, and like you say, you've had great success. But then people are short-term thinkers, not diamond holders, really, on the BS scan. A lot of people just want
Exactly.
quick profits, and they don't understand. But obviously, you've got your core people that love this game, you know, and they're here to
There's
stay.
a
They've
few
got their
people that would
NFTs. Yeah,
ride us to zero, I think, you know, and I respect those people.
And
I'm one of them.
I'm sure
important
it's going to
thing,
be going.
I think, one important thing I think it is, I mean, that we should note is that this is one of the very few cryptos out there that you're guaranteed passive income. Once you get, you know, enough NFTs to where you're earning enough MNOP to basically pass the risk of what you would possibly lose on the game, you're guaranteed passive income at that point. You at one point when we were at $1, there was people earning like $1,000 a day in MNOP. You know what I mean? And then and instead of them selling the token, they could just buy NFT packs and sell the packs, or sell the NFTs for BNB. You know, it's a guaranteed income. When you go buy a shitcoin, you're risking every bit of your funds. When you come to Memenopoly and you actually crunch the numbers and realize the potential for income, it's literally the definition of a money printer. It's insane. It blows my mind that it's not gaining the amount of traction that it deserves. But I believe once we prove to you know, to all these people that we're here for the long term, that's when, you know, the big money is going to actually come and start realizing, hey, this is a gem. This is something that I can put my money into, and you know, it could be something long term, and you're pretty much on a payroll at that point once you're earning passive income from it. You know, it's crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. So when you own the NFTs, you get a percentage of the game or something like that from it with a passive
Yeah.
income.
So
So
when you have the property staked, if you know, let's say you land on a property and somebody lands on a property and it's 10 MNOP, right? So you'll get, if you're the only one that stakes that has that card staked, you would get 75% of it, right? Because 10% goes to the jackpot, 10% to burn, and 5% to the dev. So that other 75% would go to you. You know, if 2 people had that
awesome.
stake, then half of that 75% would go to you, half would go to them, and then that goes as, you know, up to the max you can have is the cheapest one can have 200 staked. So, you know, if 200 people have it staked, you're not really getting much for that. But as you go around and as people play the game and more people roll, you know, that all adds up. And the bonus of that, as far as tokenomics go, is that's not a supply increase, right? So all that money that gets transferred around for rent is just shuffling hands. So it's your money that I'm getting and my money that you're getting. There's no, you know, when you land on a chest, that's 75 tokens that get created. When you get a payday, that's, you know, however many tokens that get created. But if we could scale this up to where, you know, 10,000 people are playing a day, now all of a sudden those rent shares would make the actual NFT yield seem like the smaller piece of the pie, but that wouldn't affect our inflation at all. So, you know, it's built in to scale. Like there's like a lot of projects you don't have much incentive to sell when it's a farming project, because you're like, I'm already like the top of the pool. Why would I sell 5 friends? Like that's just going to reduce my pie. But you know, we're kind of the opposite, because you don't, if 1,000 people are staking the same NFT as you, you're not getting 1/1000th of that. You're still getting however much you get for that a day. And then if all those people are rolling, you're getting that much more for rent share that's not coming from inflation.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think we can open it up to the team or the community if anyone's got any questions for
Awesome.
Douglas Jefferson and Mr. D. No questions. I think we've maybe gone through a lot of everything we needed to. It happens a lot in the AMAs
I like
for some
to ramble,
reason.
so hopefully I answered your questions by accident.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, if everyone hasn't got a question, then we can wrap it up. And it's been great speaking to you. It's really awesome. Looking forward to the future. And like I say, we do support the AMAs here, so you're welcome to come and give us any updates in the text chat. Whalecoin Talk. This will be when I finish recording, I'll send a copy for you to share with your community, with our community, and that goes out around crypto as well. So it looks really, really promising, exciting for the future. There's all sorts of possibilities you can grow from this. So that was great.
I really
Thank you very much for
appreciate
coming,
you guys
guys.
taking the time to talk to us. It's always good to have a smart discussion with good people. So, if you guys, if anybody is listening and you have any questions, pop over to our community. I mean, I'm pretty approachable. If I see your message, that's about the only thing, is I get so many DMs a day, but I try to get back to everybody. So we have a support room if you have any questions, a beta room if you have any ideas. So we have a pretty diverse community. We're 100% open to any questions or ideas you have, and we'll talk you through them.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just going to say, if you wanted to wrap it up, but I think you've done that there, and so I can finish the recording and send a copy over to you and one for our community. That'd be great. Thanks very much, Mr. D and
Awesome.
Douglas Jefferson coming. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.